Greetings to my 1,102 subscribers, and of course you, my future subscriber. I'm still traveling. Happy Valentine's Day. Not so much fun when you're traveling and you sit alone. Valentine's Day in a little room in a hotel. Miss my wife, miss my family, miss my dog Rufi. But of course I did bring something along just to help to ease the pain and make a little bit of a warm fuzzy feeling in the heart. So tonight we are looking at the Dewars 12-year-old, bottled at 40% ABV. It is a blended Scotch, and from what I did find out, it's a little blend of up to 40 different type of whiskies or single malts and some grain whiskey, but they added in a little bit of a marriage in the end for 3 or 4 months, a little marriage going on, and they end up with the 12-year-old Dewars. And 40% ABV, there's chill filtration, a little bit of color added. Well, the presumption is there. Don't get a lot of information, but I do presume that there's a little bit of color added. Not much, as you can see for yourself. Well, it is a hotel. It's not always the best lighting, but it is a little light golden color. So the presumption is there's a little bit of color added. 12 years old, cheap as chips. Well, relatively cheap at 36 euros for a bottle, which is not so bad considering how prices has gone up over the last couple of years. You will be, for the people that has been following my channel, I've been drinking out of a cup for the last 2 days, and I sourced myself a little bit of a glass. Real Glencairn was not to be found, but I did get a nice little, well, a little bit bigger than a shot glass, just to do the nosing and tasting like a gentleman and not like a tea drinker. So I'm just going to give this one a little bit of a nosing and a tasting. I paid about €4.50 for this sample, a little bit expensive. I think my online store has got stuck on this €4.50 as the cheapest sample that you can buy. So not complaining. It's very difficult to keep up with all these lovely whiskies, keep on buying all these lovely whiskies just to do a quick review on it. So on the nose, Dewars 12-year-old blended Scotch. What do we find? And to be honest, it is lovely on the nose. It's a big, nice, sweet vanilla note. Loads and loads of vanilla on it. It reminds me of my younger days in South Africa. We used to love making Don Pedros. For the people that don't know, it's just vanilla ice cream and a good measure of whiskey. Give it a quick mix. It's nice like that. There's a creaminess to it. There's that vanilla. I can taste or I can smell that ice cream already. So quite pleasant. I also get a little bit of a raisins. A little bit of raisins that is soaked in rum. Also, maybe a little bit of a rum and raisin ice cream. I think I miss a little bit of ice cream because I keep on smelling the ice cream. But it's quite pleasant. There's a little bit of an oakiness in the nose. A little bit of a light fruity notes. There's a hint of a nice ripe peach. I do like the nose. I like the lightness, the nice balance, the sweetness, that little oaky note coming out. So really pleasant on the nose. There's also a little bit of an English toffee coming out, but not overly sweet. And I also get a hint of a nut. It's like if you crush a fresh almond, so a little bit of an almond on the nose. So not complex, but pleasant on the nose. Lovely, inviting. Now, if that translates into the taste as well, I will be quite happy. So on the taste, cheers. Kind of a little bit of a surprise then. The 40%, not getting a lot of the 40%, but what I do get immediately is that sweetness, a lovely sweetness actually, and then it just chops you off and it gives you a little bit of a oakiness, a little bit of a tannins coming out, quite a lot of tannins actually. I was a little bit surprised on that one. It's a little bit, so sweet, oaky, tannins, and a little bit of a raisins coming out. And then I get a little bit in the end, a little burnt caramel or burnt toffee. So quite an oaky one. And I presume a lot of refill oak cask. All the good stuff is out and you're left with the tannins. So it does feel like the tannins is taking over, but I have to try again. I do get a little bit of a sherry note. I do get a little bit of a light honey note. But then again, in the aftertaste, I do get that espresso note, a little bit of an oaky note, a little bit of tannins coming out, a little bit of a bitterness coming out. And it seems to be building up a little bit. Let's try it one more time. Not getting that alcohol, can't add water to it. Nothing complex. It's sweet, oaky. I think that is the best way to describe it. Sweet, maybe sweet raisin, maybe fruity, and then the oakiness coming out. That espresso note, that bitter note that people was talking about. Not a big fan of this one. I think there is so much whiskey out there that for me is a little bit better. Something that does not have that bitter note. It's a little bit of a sour note also coming in. And as you can see by my face, it's yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. I had some nice ones. The white label for me, terrible. I didn't like it. A lot similar to this one. Let me just give it one more try and give it a fair chance. It does surprise you a little bit. When you read the label, it's 40%. You didn't expect it, but it does have its spiciness in it and a little bit of that oakiness that just keeps on building up and building up. And I think at some stage it's going to be a little bit too much for me. And at 12 years old, it does taste for me like maybe an 8 or 9 year old. So I don't see it second filled or third filled cask maybe, because there's tannins that's really dominating it for me. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that is telling me this is fantastic for them, good for you. But just be aware, it is an oaky one, well, an oaky one for me, and it's not something that I will jump up and regularly buy. Now, I also saw that on their website, a lot of their whiskey store, their blended scotches, they are advertising as mixed or cocktail ready type of things. So something that you buy for cocktails. So definitely not for the connoisseur or the snob. The snob. I'm quickly becoming a little bit of a snob, liking the high age or high ABV whiskies, and of course the high age statement whiskies. And a spoiler alert, I bought 2 21-year-old whiskies that will be reviewed in the future. Quite excited about this one. And I've got a 10-year-old waiting for me at home that was sent to me by somebody that I have no idea who it was. I have a name, but I'm not sure about the name, but it's a 10-year-old from Australia. So quite looking forward to nosing and tasting something from Australia. Would be my first one. So keep an eye on that for the future. So on the Dewars, final thoughts. Lovely nose. Well, a pleasant nose. I do like the pleasant lightness. I get a little bit of the dusty oaky note now. Quite pleasant, but of course the taste for me was a little bit mediocre, a little bit flat, but it's still a nice drinkable one, and it's 36 euros in Belgium. I suspect you can find it for quite a less, maybe 29, maybe 32 euros somewhere else. What do you think? Is that something that you would buy as a sipper, or would you buy it as a cocktail mix, or would you rather stay away from it? For me, I don't have space for mediocrity on my bar at the moment, so I'll give it a miss, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that do like it. Let me know in the comment, do you like it? Is this something that you would recommend? What is your thoughts? Did you get the same thing as I did, or did I miss something special? So thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and let's make it 1,200 subscribers soon. Cheers!